Ever since we've had Eric Wallace as our showrunner for The Flash, he's always been hit or miss with his ideas. Sometimes he's had very, very strong ideas and gave us one of the best things we've had on the show, and other times, if not most of the times, we would have something very, very poor happen and just get all of the fans disappointed. And this goes for the final season of The Flash. The Flash Season 9, aka, in my opinion, which I would consider one of the most disappointing seasons of The Flash, considering that it's a final season as well. After a very, very strong start to the season, things fell flat very, very quickly in the worst way possible. And one of my biggest problems with the final season was always how the finale played out. Now, when it came to the series finale, originally, yes, Barry was the main character. And one of my biggest complaints for the last 4 episodes of The Flash was that The Flash was sidelined, and Eric Wallace made other characters such as Cecile and Keone look more relevant and more important than our main character, that of course being The Flash, and that's always been a big problem for me. However, for the finale, this was only to a certain extent. It did not focus on The Flash entirely, but the main focus was only put on The Flash until the very end. Instead, it was just a Team Flash finale, which is something I did not like. Arrow's series finale did this really well, where Oliver Queen literally died, yet the entire finale still centered around our main character, Oliver Queen. And this is something I wish happened for The Flash as well. So in this video, what we will be doing is that we will be fixing the Flash Season 9 finale. Now, this is not one of those what if type videos I would normally do, because if that was the case, it would be much more detailed and I would actually go very in depth in regards to what I'm trying to show the audience and stuff like that. I will do a what if rewrite for the Flash Season 9 eventually, but for now, this is just my ideas on how to just fix the Flash Season 9. Now, of course, the result of the disappointment for the finale could have been of various other factors as well, such as budget, character availability, or just writing problems. All of that could have, of course, affected the finale as well. And since this is just my ideas, we will not really be considering budget or actor availability or things like that. I will do one where I would give my ideal finale, or just a certain bit I would change from this series finale, and then I'll do another one where we'd have what we had, but just the small things I would pretty much change. So the first thing I would change, and this is probably the main thing I would change, as it was definitely my biggest issue with the finale, and that was the fight. Seeing all those speedster villains interact, it was all pretty cool. But when it came to the fight, Team Flash, or rookie Team Flash, and the Flash facing off speedster villains, very, very dangerous speedster villains, definitely much more powerful than any of the rookie characters we've had on Team Flash. But also, we have to bear in mind, these are all villains Barry took a whole season to defeat. And when you see certain scenes like Allegra tossing Thawne away with a UV blast, Cecile somehow fighting Godspeed, this is a speedster that cannot outspeed a regular human being. All of these were really, really big issues for me, and I did have a big problem for this. And this is why the first thing I want to do is fix this scene. Now, as I said, I'll do one part where I would completely change it up and give you guys my first idea, and then another one where I will still keep Team Flash as it is, but just small changes I would make. Now, since this is the finale, I believe that this should have been the Flash's ultimate fight, where he's actually put up to the ultimate test, and this is to show how far he's come and, the hero he's pretty much become. So the main focus of the entire finale should be just put on the Flash. And this is what I would do to fix that up. So while we have the Cobalt Blue and the Flash fight all the way up until where Team Flash is supposed to appear, Team Flash does not appear. So it's going to be Cobalt Blue confronting with Barry. So they're going to still confront each other. And this is when we're going to have Cobalt Blue reveal the Legion. So we're still going to have Reverse Flash. We're still going to have Godspeed. We're still going to have Zoom. We're still going to have Savitar. We're still going to have all of these speedster villains appearing. And this is which causes Barry to just be in shock. Now he's actually put into the ultimate test, where it's all of these speedster villains he's previously faced off against versus just him. And the idea behind this is to really make the Flash struggle. And the reason why I want to do this is to not only raise the stakes as the finale, but also, as I said, put the Flash up into his ultimate fight. So we'd have Cobalt Blue confronting Barry, we'd have the speedster villains show up, and it's going to just be the Flash versus those speedster villains. And while the villains take their turns against the Flash, because it's multiple different speedster villains versus one hero, Barry is going to have a very, very tough time. And this is going to really make him struggle, but also to show how far he's come and how much he's grown as a hero. We're also going to see like the better side of Barry, where he does actually manage to put up a good fight against all of those speedsters. Now, while this is happening and while the Flash is going to have to face off against multiple different speedster villains, chasing across Central City and, just swapping against enemies, of course, Barry is outnumbered as well. And this would give time for the villains to pretty much cause chaos across Central City as well. Like, really, really make the Flash struggle. And this is where Team Flash actually then comes in. Team Flash's only role in this finale would be that they're just helping out with the collateral damage. So whatever is happening in terms of damage across the city, they're just going to be there trying to tone everything down, while Barry is still going to be having the main fight with the speedster villains as well as Cobalt Blue. Now, at the climax of the fight, where Team Flash are of course saving citizens in harm's way while the Flash is facing off against these speedster villains, this is when we would have Barry's side of the team joining. And no, it will not be Team Flash. I would bring in the speedster heroes, that being Wally, Jay, Bart, and Nora, all coming in to help Barry. So we would have the Flash family versus the speedster villains. That would be my ideal fight for this finale. And of course, this would make it a lot easier. And also we'll have all of our favorite speedster heroes joining in, facing off against our favorite speedster villains. This gives time for the Flash to shine because he's had his fight alone with the Legion first, but then also we have the extra backup needed for the Flash to prevail against this fight. Now, whichever way we do it, it's still going to be really cool. We could either play the comic book route and we would have, the Flash versus Cobalt Blue. We would have Wally West versus Zoom, which would be the comic book arch enemy type fight that you would want to see. Jay Garrick versus Savitar as a rematch from previously in season 3, where Jay Garrick and Savitar fought, and Savitar absolutely destroyed Jay Garrick. Bart versus Godspeed as their arch enemies, and then we could have Nora versus the Reverse Flash. We could do something like that, or we could even change it up. We could do Wally versus Savitar, which would be like a revenge fight because of course it was Savitar that trapped Wally in the Speed Force. We would have Jay versus Zoom because Jay Garrick needs to get his revenge on Zoom for trapping him in Earth 2. And then the other fight would still remain the same: Bart versus Godspeed, and Nora versus Reverse Flash, Barry versus Cobalt Blue. And then we have that big, massive speedster fight where everything else plays out as normal. So we would still have Barry eventually going into the negative Speed Force and trying to talk Eddie down eventually. So that is one way we could have this finale play out. Of course, as I said, I'm not going to put much deep thoughts into it. I'm not going to go very descriptive because this is not a fan fiction. This is not really a what if. This is just my idea on how I would just fix the finale right off the bat. And as I said, I will do a rewrite for the entire season eventually, which of course will be much more detailed, much more thought out, and it will give you guys a better idea in regards to what I'm trying to do over here. Now, the second way it could play out, and this is of course if we are considering things like budget, character availability, or just things like that, we would still have the exact fight as what we had previously. So it would still be Team Flash that we saw in the original finale versus the speedster villains. But the only thing I would change is that the rookie Team Flash members get absolutely destroyed against the speedster villains. And the only reason I say this because there is no outcome I see where Allegra is able to beat the Reverse Flash. Absolutely no outcome. I don't care if Chester's about to die. There's absolutely no way Allegra is able to beat the Reverse Flash. Same goes for Cecile versus Godspeed. There's absolutely no way I see a regular human being outspeeding a speedster. There's no way that's happening. Because of this, I would want the speedster villains to just absolutely destroy those rookie Team Flash members. The only ones I would really excuse in this fight are XS versus Savitar, as it's a speedster versus speedster, so that fight actually makes sense. And Keon, because of how powerful she is, I could see her beating Zoom, but I would want that fight to be much longer than what we had as well. I'd want the whole fights to just be longer, because all we got was like 10 seconds of each character and they just got defeated, which is not really what I would want to see. But I would want all of these rookie Team Flash members to just get absolutely destroyed and leave the ultimate test for Barry, where Barry is now all alone and it's just up to him, where he's going to have to defeat all of those speedster villains and somehow prevail, whether it be him soloing all of them or something along those lines. You know, Barry, he's much more powerful, he's much more faster than all of these speedsters right now. So you could kind of see an outcome where Barry is able to still prevail. And let's not forget, Jay Garrick does join in the finale eventually as well. So we could just have XS, the Flash, and Jay Garrick versus all of those speedster villains. I could still see something like that. But at the end of the day, this still puts the Flash at, you know, his ultimate fight, really tests him and shows him how far he's become. So I would still say that outcome also does work. But that's really the main thing I would change for this finale in order to make it so much better, because that was my biggest problem with the finale, and that's just how short the fights were and how easy it was for rookie Team Flash members to take down very, very dangerous and powerful speedster villains that Barry took a whole season to try and defeat. But really everything else from this finale I would just keep as it is. You know, if we're not considering character availability, then of course I would love to bring in Cisco as well near the end. And the ending I would keep the same, because there's no better way this show could have ended in my opinion. But yeah guys, thanks for watching. If you guys have enjoyed the video, please give a like and subscribe. Be sure to let me know in the comment section down below what your ideal season finale for The Flash would be. I'm interested to see all of your thoughts towards all of this as well. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video.